Hey folks, welcome to another video. Okay, because people has been asking me how do I use AI tools for my Flutter development workflow, and that's why I decided to do this video and show you guys how my workflow looks like and how I use AI as a sidekick for my Flutter development. So I've seen a couple of posts on X, formerly known as Twitter, and people saying that they don't see how AI has helped them or stuff. So for me, it has helped me. It has built up my productivity a lot, I think. So let's just see some of the things I use AI to do, and could be that they are missing out a couple of settings that they need to put out there. So let's see. I'll pull up my browser, and there are a couple of tools out there that you could use for your Flutter development. Google has Gemini. Then you have Cursor. So, which is what I use. Cursor has its own idea actually, which they ported from VS Code. So if you're familiar with VS Code, you will likely be able to use Cursor, which is the one I use. Then there is also GitHub Copilot. I use this a lot. I was paying about $10 for it, but then now it's free. I haven't tried the free version, but yeah, I stopped using it a while ago when I discovered Cursor. So this video is going to be mostly about what you can do with Cursor. I assume it might apply to GitHub because some of the things that Cursor can do, I think GitHub Copilot can do. But then if you want to explore a bit, you could use Cursor as well. So they have a free version, so you could play around at a 2-week trial and play around with it. I'm paying $20 a month because I think it's worth it, and especially because it allows me to use custom this stuff, custom models, AI models with it. So let's pull up Cursor now. So you can go ahead and just download, and you'll be able to use it. It's quite popular a bit. So, and good thing is you can import your VS Code, since you guys use VS Code a lot. You can import all your VS Code settings to Cursor. Like I said, it's a port of VS Code. Yeah. So this is Cursor. And the first important thing that I think you need to do is you go to About Cursor here, and this is the version. So I'm using version 0.43.6. So everything I'm talking about is in reference to this version, of course. So if you are using a pretty old version, you might not see same things we are looking at. But in the feature here, they talk about how you can use autocomplete. So Cursor sort of autocompletes your predictions, and it helps with your multi-line edit, smart rewrite, Cursor prediction, chat, which we get in a bit. And the one, you see, if you have an image of how you want your UI to look like, you can upload and tell Cursor to do stuff. You can link it to a documentation. You can tell it to ask the web, or you can reference your code as well. So it's pretty cool. And so let's go back to our Cursor. Let's go here, Cursor settings, and let's go to Cursor settings. This is the the part that people overlook a bit. So if you go to your general, you see you are signing, and you can import your VS Code settings, and you can export your VS Code settings from VS Code and import them here, and you will have the same look and feel. If you are using a theme, everything the same thing, nothing's changed. But here is an important part for cursor, and it's a rule for AI. So when you have a chart or you are using cursor agents, you can have this rule for cursor to always reference. So you always want to guide cursor on what it should do. So, and you don't want to always want to type it every time. So we have this rules for cursor. And this is a sample of the rule that I got. Where did I get it from? I think I got it from cursor rule. There's a site like that, cursor rules. Let's see. Let's check this one. Okay, yeah. So this is where I got it from, .cursorrules.com. And here in the Flutter, I just copied all this stuff and then dumped it in my cursor. And you can see it's simple. You're a senior Dart programmer with experience in Flutter framework and Jasper, because I use it for Jasper as well. And can generate code corrections and refactorings. So these are rules that is guiding the AI to generate code for us. You can see it has some basic principles. So you can modify this and make it yours, personalize it to yours. There's some nomenclatures, functions, data, classes. So it's saying follow solid principles, write more classes with a single purpose, stuff like that, and follow conventions. You can give it conventions, even testing rules as well. Yeah, you can, everything is opinionated, right? So you can tell it to use clean architecture or not. If you have an architecture in mind, you can tell it to use that. Use Riverport to manage your state. Use controller pattern for business logic with Riverport. So you can have whatever state management you want. And see, that's everything here. So you can modify it to fit your needs. Right, good. So, and that's majorly the stuff. Here you can see all the models that you can use. We have an open AI key. You can put it there. All this Anthropic key, you can put all this stuff, whatever you want. Okay, so when you go here, I usually just go to the end of cursor like this and then just pull out this part. And you have a window here. I guess because I'm left, because I usually code on the left, so I guess it's on the left. I don't know if it's going to be on the right, but you could try it. But that's how I bring it up. I think there's a command for it. And if I remember, you can hold Shift K. Is it Shift K or Shift? Can't remember the command again. Yeah, I can't remember the command, but you can go on here. Here's the chat option. Okay. This is Command Shift L. So I have Command in cursor. You can do Command Shift L. Okay, yeah. So it brings it up. Good. So you have two windows here. You have the chart and the composer. So the composer uses like this AI agents to do whatever you want to do. I just got to use this composer. I use chat a lot, but the composer is pretty interesting and we can give it a try. So let's give it a try. So I'm going to go to a command palette here. And let's create a new Flutter project. A simple one. Let's call it, oh, I have to do that again, sorry. Okay, so give view, command palette, new Flutter, and AI to do. Okay, so it's going to create a Flutter project for us, and I have all this stuff. Okay, so let's use the composer. So can you build a to-do app? So simple instruction and everything, and let's get it to do its magic. And we can, so you can see you can use the normal toggle here, or you can use the agent. So with the agent, when it does the task that you give it to, it will keep trying to get it right till it gets it right. So it makes sense to toggle agent here, and then you hit submit. And let's see the sort of magic that it's going to do for us. So you can see it's generating a couple of stuff for us. So it's following the clean architecture principles and best practices. So it's breaking all of those down. So it's modified stuff, and then it says it needs to create directories on file for a clean architecture. And so that's why I said you can modify the rules. I'm not a fan of clean architecture, but you can modify it to whatever you want. So let's run the command. It's going to create all this, let's say it creates features, to-dos and stuff. So as it creates the file, you can keep hitting the accept, and it's going to create all the files. So it's creating our to-do object, has a nice copy width, and it creates a to-do input. And so it says it has finished creating it, and that we can do the Flutter run. So now it wants me to select which device to run it on. So I select Chrome, and let's see. So I did pop out the terminal to be able to select whatever I want it to run on. So it popped out, and then we have a little to do here. Go to the gym. Oh, and it adds it. Yeah, so you have a nice to-do app there without lifting a finger. Okay, so it's done. Then it says, do you want me to enhance the app further with any of the following feature? Yes, I want you to enhance the app with features 2 to 6. So I don't want number 1 persistence. I want from 2 to 6. So it's going to add category, due date, priority level, search functionality. And the agent is going to do all this stuff for us. So it's generating. I accept that. And it keeps doing all this stuff. So there are a couple of things that it misses though. For example, it creates a folder and there's nothing there. But let's see, once it's done, we can tell it to enhance or modify a couple of stuff that we don't want. But we'll see. So it's still generating. So we can accept. So we've accepted the to-do list. So it's updating. We accept that as well. So it's added all these options. So it's saying, would you like me to add more features? So let's try the feature that is done. Oh, so we can add it to do. Go to the gym, and we have priority levels: high, low, medium. Oh, we have a nice date, and we can add a tag, and we say fitness. So we add a tag there, and then we can click on add to do. So we have the to do here. So we can search. Does the search work? Oh, doesn't look like the search work. But we can filter by the priority. You can also hide completely. Well, does it work? It sort of works. Okay. So let's enhance it a bit. I want you to modify the code base and use Riverpod for the state management. So let's swap it out and let it use Riverpod for state management. So now it needs to add Riverpod, and it's adding that. It's added that to the prospect.yaml. And then it's creating a to-do state and a to-do notifier. And so we're going to accept that. And so it's creating the providers for filtering and searching. And let's go ahead and accept that. And then it's going to update the to-do widget to use Riverpod. And you can see it's having some nice Riverpod code here, which is nice. So you can see that we've not written any bit of code here. And I understand that it's a basic app, but yeah, it's a good start. So what I use it for is I use it especially for creating proof of concept, right? So if I'm creating a proof of concept and it might take me a while, I use the agent to point it to a doc that I write, and then the AI agent sort of figure a couple of things out. And then it's really good with writing scripts as well. And the other day I was writing a package that will look into your Swagger and generate a couple of classes and implementations. I was writing a proof of concept for it, and I needed to write a script, and he got it right most of the time. So it's done. It's converted it to state management, and then it tells me what it's done. It added providers, separate concerns into different providers, use code generation for Riverpod, and clean separation of UI. So let's restart and let's see if it works. Oh, it does. Let's check what is done. So we have providers. So it has to do provider. We have the search query, the provider. We have the selected tags. We have the selected priority. And then we have the filtered to-dos. This is deprecated, but we can tell it. So far, it looks like, let's say, go to the gym. Let's set it to medium. The add tags, let's put it as fitness tag. And then we add the to-do. So we've added it to do. Everything looks good as before. Yeah, so it sort of works as before. So another thing that I have it to do is, let's add some tests. Cover, make it comprehensive. So I want it to have a comprehensive test. So it's going to add tests for most of the files that you're going to see. So it uses mocktail. Why does it use mocktail? I think I have it in my cursor rule for it to use mocktail. So this is one of the things you will have. So if I check properly in the testing, did I add it? I added it somewhere. I will have to check, but there's a reason it goes for mocktail. So it's saying test coverage. So test coverage has compatibility issues, so it just wants to add the mocktail. I think we need to update our Flutter version, but now it's creating all the test files. If it encounters an error, it will try to solve it till it gets it right. So it's creating all the test files. All we just do is to click accept. So let's accept this one. So it's creating tests for the providers as well. So if we go to features, it's created tests for entities without lifting a single finger. Created tests for to do without lifting a single finger as well. And for our provider, it's created the tests for it as well. This is incredible, really. Okay. And then it creates a test for our widget as well. Okay, so yeah, it's take a while, but boom. So it's created a comprehensive test now. Test our widgets, it tests our entities, notifiers, provider. Yeah, basically the test that we want. So now we're going to run Flutter test and see if all the test passes. If it doesn't, it's going to try to fix them by itself. Okay, so you can see that there is an error somewhere in the test. So he has some failing tests. He's going to try to fix those failing tests as well. Okay, so it's fixing the test. Let's see, it's modifying. Instead of using pump, it's using pump or settle because it's an async operation. So it's modifying it a bit, and then it's passing in provider scope to one of the tests. So now it wants to know if it works again. So we are running Flutter test again after applying for the fix. So there's this widget test that it didn't touch, but it will be nice to see what is done. So it's taking a while to run the command. So let's pop out the terminal and just do Flutter test directly because it got stuck. Oh yeah, there's some tests that failed. Yeah. So some tests failed. So we can just copy the error and say some tests failed and just paste them. It's going to figure out the best way for it to fix it. Okay, see, and it's going to sort of explain what the problem is there. So it's generating. Yeah, it's one of the issues I find is yeah, it takes a while, but so now we've accepted the changes. So it's trying to run the test again, and it's found another problem. So it's going to try to fix it again. Let's see. The tests. Okay, yeah, so I just take a while too. So I can see that we still have some failing tests. The timer is still pending after the widget tree. And it searched the code base for that file. And it's trying to fix it. So now we sort of fixed it. And let's accept that. I think it's come up. So it's saying the issue is instead of provider scope, instead of uncontrolled provider scope, they are using a provider scope with a shared container. We need to properly dispose the container. So let's run the command again. Let's hope this one works. And you can see we've not lifted a single finger yet, and we have 31 tests passing with 10 failing, and we're almost there, really. So it's taking a while. So let's do Flutter tests manually. And let's see how many tests. Okay. So we've got failing tests again. So let's just paste it for it. And the angels will try to fix it itself. I wasn't sure if I copied the right thing, so. Okay. So let's run the command again. I prefer the command to be run there because it will see the, because I'm not too sure if I'm copying the right thing for the AI. So let me run it here. Let's see what we get this time. Flutter test. So we have few tests failing. I'm trying to get I'm trying to get the failing ones. And just put it there. Okay, so the widget test is one of the ones failing. So I think it's fixed the widget one. So that one won't fail. See, no more errors there. So now what is done is check if there's a to-do app and if there's a to-do list. So let's write a command here again. Flutter test. So only 2 tests are failing now. So let me copy this. So we have 2 tests failing now. It's almost there. It says it sees the issue and it's trying to fix it. Let's see. Okay, so we accept that. And let's run the command again. Flutter test. So let's see. Let's run it from here. Let's see. Okay. So what's happening is the result they expect is not is expecting 1, but they're actually 0. So there's something happening there. So if we're able to run the command in the composer, is going to try to let's run the Flutter test again. Run from here. So it does pass there. And let's do Flutter test here. Let's save all the tests. Oh, okay. So now all the tests are passing. And we've used AI to sort of add all this stuff. Okay, that's cool. We've added a couple of tests without lifting a single finger. Okay, that's good. Now you see that this UI, what if we wanna make, let's say we want to use ShadeCN UI, and we have the documentation of the ShadeCN UI. So can we let our agent to use ShadeCN for all the app? Okay, can you use this package for the UI? So we put the package there, the documentation is here. Let's give it the documentation as well, and let's see. You can also add a new documentation by adding a new doc and just pasting it there. Flutter ShadeCN. So it's going to save to your doc repository, and then you can always reference it later. So where's the doc? Okay, see, ShadeCN doc, and you can always refer to it. So let's submit. Let's see if it's smart enough to use ShadeCN. Okay, so it's adding the dependencies. Oh, it's applying it, and it's trying to upgrade our Flutter. Interesting. So it increases the versioning. Nice. We'll see. We'll see if it will get it right. I'm curious because I can see some things are not as it should. So it's trying to use the shade and UI thing. Shade thing? Yeah, it's trying. So it's saying run Flutter pub get. Flutter pub get. I wish the command is working there, but for some reason it stopped working. So we've run Flutter pub get. Okay, so there are errors. Let's tell you that in the code. Seems like you're not using the correct widget from the docs. Did you read the docs? You have to tell it to let's see what it tells us. There's a couple of we are supposed to tell you that it's components, so will I be able to navigate directly to the components? No. Oh god. I wish I can. And just tell it that you should use it says relative load. Oh. Okay. It's looking like it's maybe trying to use the correct thing. There's nothing like shade text field. So yeah, it's pretty poor there. So it keep insisting on shade text thing. So now I need to figure out a way to tell it the components. Now, how am I supposed to? I wish there's a component directory. It just goes to the component direct. Okay. Oh, so it's hallucinating for for shade seeing stuff. It's getting it totally wrong here. Not. Yeah, it's getting it even when I'm giving it the docs, it's getting it totally wrong. So let's see if how do we get to the documentation? Or let's give it an API reference. Nah, I don't think it's going to. Okay. So for new information like this, it struggles a bit. So well, it's looking like so. It's sort of, but yeah, it's still hallucinating it quite a bit, really. So, yeah, it's not getting shade CN correctly at all. But you can see some of the things that it could do. Okay, another thing that you could, so we just look at the composer, and this video is getting really long. But then look at the chat. If you want to just chat with it, you can use the summit. If you want to chat about the code base, you can use the chat here. If you have an image, you can give it to it and tell it to use to create a widget for you based on that image. Another thing that people do is if you have a JSON, you can just post the JSON here and tell it for you to create a data class for that JSON. It does that pretty good. Or you can tell it create a freeze class for this JSON and it's going to do that. So yeah, it's nice to play around with AI. So maybe I will do another video to have an existing code base that you can see how the workflow looks like. But yeah, another time. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.